45 years ago, Nauta launched the largest GRP production boat on the market. That S&S designed Swan 65 went on to win the first ever Whitbread and became a legend. Welcome to the 2019 version. This new Frères design 65 is probably twice the volume of that original S&S, but it's still designed as a comfortable cruiser racer. Something can take you long distance voyaging and still win a race. It's one of 3 new models launching this year, which shows Swan on a real roll, with 6 of the 65 sold before this first one was even shown. So last year Swan had a full mock-up of the interior of the 65 here. This year they've brought this, which is the telescopic keel that's going on this boat. You can have a fixed keel, but this one reduces draft from 4.2 to 2.8 meters, and it is a work of art, and it's state of the art. It's made by APM in Italy, and it's the same keel that goes on the Baltic 67 and the Solaris 64, obviously with a different lump of lead on the bottom. It's a good example of the engineering that goes into a boat like this. So this new 65 shares a similar look to the 78, which launched last year. Frères is new models, very lovely lines, obviously beamy, a lot of power, a lot of beam aft. And the way they are built now at this size, Swan don't like to customize below 78 feet. So they engineer a lot of solutions and options for potential owners, so they can choose all sorts of options throughout, but it's not going to change how they build the boat in the yard. It's very clever, and I'll walk you through a couple now. So obviously it's a big boat, but it is designed to be owner managed and owner sailed. Very clean decks. The lines are all brought under deck to these 2 winches each side, so all the sailing can be done in this area. There is an optional main sheet winch here as well. This owner's chosen to go with a captive, which runs through the boom, and the captive winch is below decks. The only other real cockpit layout option really is to have a bridge deck here, and that divides the cockpit into 2, and it forms more of a protected area in here if you have children as well. So Swan doesn't do what they used to do, which was either a raised saloon model or a flush deck model. They have a sort of in between now, which is a very elegant coach roof line. You'll see it from the interior, but the solution they found with the 65 is to bring the mast quite far aft. You see it's breaking up the coach roof there. And in turn, that's allowed longitudinal Genoa tracks inboard, nice tight sheeting angle, or you could have a self-tacking jib rail on the front of the coach roof. But just check out how clean this whole deck area is. It's a work of art. And check out the supplies you could keep in here. I mean, yes, it could be a crew cabin as well, but that's a sail locker. But for me, this is what the boat is all about. Check out this saloon area. I think it's 5.5 meters from the companionway to the forward cabin. It's just this lovely open social space area that you get from having a forward transverse galley, and also having this slightly raised saloon. So the engineering generator is still below us here. Means you're eye height out of the coach roof windows, and that forward one I think makes quite a lot of difference as well, being able to see out of that. People in the saloon, same sitting height as people standing in the galley, and there are loads of options to configure these 2 areas, the central part of the boat, to how an owner would like it. So they've nailed this central section of the boat in terms of engineering and options. There's 5 different options for the nav station alone. The real trump card they have at this size boat is to offer both a forward owner's cabin or an aft owner's cabin. The latter would have that bridge deck I mentioned in the cockpit. And so far, out of 6 owners, 50-50. The devil is in the details on this boat, and when you look closely, it's just beautifully finished. I have rarely met an owner so proud. He wanted to point out every details. And this is someone that's had a Swan 45 and a Swan 601, and I think as a boat builder, that must be the most rewarding part of finishing a boat. I don't think this Swan 65 is going to win a round the world race, but boy would I like to go cruising on it around the world.